Conventions, conventions, conventions. Let's talk. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, February 19th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Now, not quite a convention, but I just kind of wanted to look good for a cold open. But what did happen today, this week, was a Nintendo Direct. Now, we've had Nintendo Direct Minis, we've had Nintendo Indie Showcases, we've had a lot of those for the past, I don't know, about 2 years, a year and a half. But we haven't had a proper Nintendo Direct since somewhere in the end of 2019. So this was a big, full showcase full of lots of games and lots of big information. And I really like the Nintendo Directs. My preference has been tending towards indie, just because as I've told you all, the Nintendo Switch is my indie box, and my Zelda box, which we got some Zelda news. But let's jump in at the top. So they introduced a new set of characters. One is a reskin. They're both Xenoblade characters that they're bringing into Smash Bros. I think this is going to start out their like Volume 3 Season Pass or whatever, or Character Pass, I think is what they call it in Smash Bros. So, you know, it's again, Smash Bros. Ultimate is really supposed to be, I think, intended to be kind of the platform, and they'll just keep adding characters, and people will keep buying them. So, you know, they're gonna keep going, and I think a lot of people had their fingers crossed for some big IP. I don't know that Xenoblade is gonna be really breaking the bank, but you know, more and more characters are gonna come out and can continue to come out for Smash Bros. So, looking forward to that. They also had a series of indie showcases. Or third-party titles, I should say. Finally, Fall Guys is coming. Everything was kind of said for like this summer. So you had like Fall Guys coming out. Outer Wilds, which is a great game that I've been playing on Xbox Game Pass, is coming to Nintendo Switch. Then they started getting into their more like, you know, core IP. I was really excited by Mario Golf. I don't know what it is about Mario and golf that really tends to me. I really liked Mario Tennis for the 64, but I haven't picked up Mario Tennis Aces for the Switch yet. But Mario Golf just kind of like, I don't know what it is about that one that just kind of feels good. Maybe I just, you know, maybe I'm getting older and I like golf more now. No, but something about Mario Golf just kind of really stuck to me. They had like the whole kind of, you can create your own Mii character. You have like a story mode. You can play that Mii in like a competitive golf game. So yeah, I think the golf just kind of spoke to me, and the kind of competitive and the single player versions, like, I don't know, really looked good. So looking forward to Mario Golf. Finally, I've been talking about it forever. I don't have the exact time, but as soon as the Switch came out, I said, please give me Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword remake, whatever you want to call it. And finally it's coming. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD is the name they're going for. And you can play it either without the motion controls or with the motion controls, which I think will please a lot of players, or those like me who will play it for the first time. Yeah, I've been clamoring for this. I've been wanting this forever, so it's finally here. It's coming July 16th. So looking forward to that. Also, they had some sweet Joy-Cons that were shaped up that look like the Master Sword and the Hylian Shield. I'm very much looking forward to getting my hands on those. Those weren't available for pre-order immediately, unlike the game, and they just kind of rolled out. I saw a couple articles talking about it's been rolled out on GameStop and Best Buy, but it was, again, they didn't tell us when they would officially roll out, and so those were already gone by the time I got to them, even later the day of the Nintendo Direct. So hopefully I don't have to wade through an army of scalpers to get them, and Nintendo will continue to kind of produce them for a full run. So I will get those Joy-Cons. Oh my god, they look so cool. I'm really excited for those. So hopefully I can get my hands on a pair. And the show-stopping number was Splatoon 3. I think we haven't had a Splatoon game in a couple years now. This is actually kind of a pretty short turnaround. Splatoon came out in 2018, so 3 years is a pretty good cycle. But yeah, Splatoon you know, they're showing off new environments. I'm kind of curious as to how the gameplay evolves. I want to see more emphasis on the kind of single player or cooperative nature. I don't think the kind of egg game was fully fleshed out, or the salmon run, I think was what it was called, was fully fleshed out. So I didn't really play too much of that. And hopefully they fix their kind of native talking structure somehow. You know, that's bigger than just Splatoon 3, but something they got to figure out before they can get, before I think you can fully unlock the Splatoon players. Oh, also EA's Dodgeball game, I guess, was another third-party game that kind of came out of nowhere, but yeah, it just kind of, it reminded me a little bit of like ARMS, where it has about a series of characters in like the third-person angle, but you're like throwing a dodgeball around the city. So that seemed like a pretty fun game, and I think it kind of flew under the radar. That's why it barely, you know, registered in my head just then. I almost forgot about it. But that EA dodgeball game, crap, I forget the name of it, like Dodge City or something like that. I'm looking forward to that as well. So yeah, I thought it was all in all a pretty good Nintendo Direct. Still reminding everybody that they need to, you know, dust off their Nintendos. Also a season pass for DLC content for Age of Calamity I'm looking forward to. So yeah, tons of stuff at this Nintendo Direct, and looking forward to kind of what's coming in the next year or so from Nintendo. Also happening right now, I barely have too much news to talk about, but BlizzCon Day 1 wrapped up today. This was, most of the information was kind of coming in as I was putting this all together, but I caught some of the highlights. There's a Diablo 2 remake, Diablo 2 Resurrected, I think was the name of the remake, and that's great. I think Diablo 2 is kind of the linchpin of the series, and I think people, you know, people still are pretty hesitant based on what they felt about Warcraft 3 Reforged, but and I think Diablo players are still playing it, so I think there's going to be some controversy around whether or not the servers are transitioned over and all that other kind of stuff that went wrong with Reforged. But yeah, hopefully they'll start figuring that out. They also had Diablo 4 character trailer. So there's a new rogue class I don't think that we've seen. Might be something like the Demon Hunter class, but yeah, they got a new class that they showed off. They had an arcade pack that dropped that day. That is, I think, for the most part, I was just thinking it would be Lost Vikings, but it sounds like it's a little bit deeper than that. So I'm wondering what's going to be in that arcade pack. They talked about Hearthstone. They had kind of, I think they had a gameplay trailer of Overwatch 2. Again, I'm a little fuzzy on the details because all of this was kind of coming in as I was finishing up my day. So yeah, I'm looking for more information on what's coming out of BlizzCon 2021. Also, a side note, I'm curious as to, I want to see an unboxing video for the 18-inch Arthas helm. That's not wearable actually, but I'm looking forward to seeing more on that, just to see, you know, what kind of scale it's at and how good of a prop it looks like. So looking forward to the 30-year anniversary Arthas helm and some of the other gear that I might get my hands on. Also this week, Mortal Kombat trailer dropped this week. I am very excited for this. I loved the movies. Mortal Kombat Annihilation was probably my favorite movie for like a summer when I was a kid. Especially with I think Nighthawk to this, or Night Wolf to this day is like one of my favorite characters in Mortal Kombat. But the trailer seemed really well executed. I really enjoyed the crap out of it. It doesn't have too much talking. I don't think it doesn't look as campy, I think, as the kind of 90s films were. So hopefully, you know, I want it to be taken a little bit more seriously, but of course it's going to have the over-the-top kind of gruesome characteristics. They're setting up the conflict between Sub-Zero and Scorpion. I love the actor who's playing Scorpion. I think that was a really good casting. He always plays a really serious character that's going to be, you know, very good for Scorpion. They've got the Sonya and Jax buddy cop portions that are going to be great. And I think the most dialogue in the entire trailer was just like, there's a mysterious, you know, competition that takes place once every so and so, and it, you know, they're really kind of setting this up. It sounds like it's more of a prelude to the actual tournament, but yeah, I'm just so excited. I loved all the details. The kind of Sub-Zero freezing the shotgun blasts and taking off Jax's arms. Like it's gonna be great. So very much looking forward to the Mortal Kombat movie, and the fact that it's like 6 weeks away. It's like middle of April or something like that. So really excited to check that out. Leaked and then later confirmed by Activision this week, Call of Duty, in time for kind of its year 2 of Warzone, is going on to season 2, where I think the big thing, I mean, besides like the culmination of Black Ops and Warzone kind of being combined into one family, the big emphasis was on zombies, and the kind of open world nature of it, or how big the maps are going to be, and the cooperative nature of zombies is going to be really interesting. I haven't looked too much into it, but I think potentially this is something, if they can figure out how to make it take up less space on my hard drive, I might actually look into kind of what's going on with zombies. But yeah, I think the zombie, I always liked zombies. I think actually, strangely enough, the aliens mode in, is that Ghosts or the one after it, or Advanced Warfare, I don't know, in one of the aliens mode in one of the Call of Duty games was kind of one of my favorite parts of the game, and I really just liked playing that for like an hour with a bunch of randos. So looking forward to potentially getting more back into Call of Duty zombies. So look for that. Xbox, in an effort to continue to be the best backwards compatible system out there for the Series S and X, or the Series X as I call them, the Xbox is rolling out a new feature, the FPS boost, the frames per second boost. So the idea is that even if you're using old gen backwards compatible games, that you could still play them at upper tier frames per second. I think the initial list was only like 5 or 6 titles, but I think they're just continuing to build this kind of back catalog of games that are just going to be able to work constantly. And so now they're not competing on a like new game spaces necessarily, because we're still waiting on a lot of their first party exclusives, but there's plenty of back catalog stuff that they're just making more and more viable and bringing forward. So definitely the number of titles you can play is ever expanding on the Xbox. So taking off my Xbox shill hat now, but they are definitely doing a pretty good job. And this kind of supports the focus on building out those history of games for the Xbox. Valheim keeps making more and more buzz as it keeps hitting more and more sales milestones for a game that's been on Steam Early Access for just under 3 weeks now. They've already sold 3 million units, which is pretty big. I mean, I hear a lot of times of these Steam Early Access games taking months to get to their first million, and Valheim seems to really be going in. I think the cooperative social nature again is kind of building off of the social isolation associated with the pandemic, and the fact that you can play with up to, I think, 10 friends on a server, and just kind of I think it can be run on almost anything. The specs look pretty low for it, but still having a pretty good quality. Yeah, I think the game keeps blowing up, and I'm excited to hear more and eventually convince my friends to get into it. So looking forward to playing Valheim sometime in the future as it continues to generate more and more buzz. PlayStation Blog had a pretty cool post this week about some PS5 gear that they were putting out. Yeah, just some of the gear looked pretty cool to me. They had their traditional kind of PS5 kind of beanies and jackets, and then they had some focused on kind of the big IPs. They had the Last of Us 2 like shirt with with Ellie on it, and I thought that looked pretty cool. The one thing that really caught my eye was the Fireflies hat. I thought that looked really cool, so I might actually I don't typically wear hats, but I'm looking forward to potentially getting my hands on that. They also had some Horizon Zero Dawn merch for all those. I know a lot of people are very interested in Horizon Zero Dawn, and and putting Alloy on as much as they can. So I think they did a pretty good job getting her face on a bunch of stuff. Not too much on God of War, if I remember correctly, or at least nothing that caught my eye. So that probably would have something in that vein probably would have caught my eye if I had remembered. So yeah, they're just a bunch of PlayStation 5 merch. Could be cool to pick up. So I'll have a link down in the description below. Baldur's Gate 3 is finally rolling out some more patch stuff. This is, I think, the biggest patch since launch. You know, they're rolling out a new class, the Druid class, and so for all those people who want to turn into animals or have animal companions, the Druid class will be playable should be playable in Baldur's Gate 3 right now. This is kind of, I don't know, this kind of feels like both an on and an off for me. Like I'm excited to see that they're adding classes and rolling it out, but it's just more of an emphasis that I'd rather wait until the whole thing's done, because I know that they only had like 5 or 6 classes when it first launched, or when it first went into early access. But the fact that they're rolling out classes, just it kind of rubbed me the wrong way of like, now there's a big thing that we're adding a whole class that was missing because we're in early access. I don't know. Just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So, but I am excited to see more and more classes be put in, and the Druid class will definitely appeal to some of the people that I know in D&D. Some of my friends who play D&D who love pet classes. So, looking forward to that. Speaking of pet classes, No Man's Sky is rolling out another a series of updates, and continue to update the game and make it better. I actually recently jumped back into No Man's Sky, but the recent update was this week. They added the ability to kind of form companions and bonds with the kind of creatures that are on the planets that you visit. So I think like this is finally like starting to get to the vision that they had when they were making 5 quintillion planets. And doing all this like procedural generation to kind of get these creatures to exist, and the fact that now you can take those creatures and put them on different planets, or be friends with them and build like whole systems and whole systems around being friends with these companions, and using them for various tasks to help build up your base, or be a hunting companion. That all seemed very interesting. So I'm looking forward to exploring that a little bit more as I play through No Man's Sky and its recent update. Last but certainly not least, a new roguelike deck builder, and that already is something that I'd be interested in as I play. I love deck builders, like the most recent SteamWorld game. I love Slay the Spire. So this is all kind of seems like it's going to be in my niche. It's called Rogue Book. And it's by the creator of Magic the Gathering, Richard Garfield. So that again also catches my mind, as I was a big fan of Keyforged, or still am a big fan of Keyforge. And Magic the Gathering, obviously. So kind of interested in seeing, Richard Garfield's take on like the roguelike deck builder genre. So game looks pretty cool, and I like the aesthetics, and the kind of the open world map kind of looks pretty cool. And then you go into individual kind of card based combat, which is more based on like how your party moves around, as opposed to just kind of having the ARPG kind of pick an attack and then use it, and then rotate out kind of stuff. So looks like it's a little bit more involved in moving your characters around. So looking forward to seeing more details on that and potentially getting my hands on that. Whew, if that wasn't enough, that's it for the week. So, tell me if you think I forgot anything. But thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye!